in stable condition and is alert and talking. You saw the dual scenes playing out here. This is the investigation. This is the crime scene that we're looking at here outside of Overbrook High School. The other scene playing out is fellow officers gathering at the hospital to offer support and hold vigil in a sense for this officer, a rookie on the job, just a few months on the job when this happened, when he shot in the line of duty. And what were you saying? I'm hearing my producer. All right. We also understand that Tony Watlington, he is the superintendent of Philadelphia's school district, that he is on the scene. So the fact that he's on the scene, maybe, you know, we know that he is the superintendent in charge of Philadelphia's schools. We don't know if he'll be saying something. There's Watlington there. You can see him shaking hands with some folks there. There's Dr. Watlington. We hope to possibly hear from him as well. Again, this is happening outside of a Philadelphia high school there, Overbrook High School. It's a large high school there in West Philadelphia, a very large high school there in West Philly. Not sure exactly how many students attend there, but it is one of the biggest schools in the city as far as I can remember. But there is Dr. Tony Watlington there, the superintendent of Philadelphia School District, hoping to hear more from him about this crime that has happened outside of one of his schools. And this was around dismissal time, we understand. That high school does dismiss around 2:30 or so, and we understand this shooting happened shortly after that or around that time. What we haven't seen just yet is any students there on the scene. We're only imagining that they were dismissed, and anyone who wasn't or hasn't been, maybe staff members, are probably still in that hospital, as this is still an active investigation there outside of the school. So we're seeing Dr. Watlington being briefed by police there on the scene outside of Overbrook High School. He is getting more information, and we hope that soon we will hear more from him, certainly more from the police commissioner about the officer involved as well, and what may have precipitated this violence this afternoon. But Dr. Watlington being there certainly, again, may speak volumes in the sense that maybe there were students involved. Maybe there was some student factor that played out here. But nonetheless, we're still waiting on that information about who the suspect is. We know that he has been taken into custody, he or she. We don't know whether it's a male or female. The suspect in custody, and a gun has been recovered. We still don't know what may have led up to this shooting at this point. But again, we're waiting to get word here. Dr. Watlington being briefed on the situation there outside of Overbrook High School. We can only imagine, as I said, that Commissioner Bethel is at the hospital at this point with his officer, a male officer, a rookie officer, just a few months on the job, currently in stable condition. He is alert and talking, and we can only imagine he is giving police the information that is most needed at this point, which is what led up to this shooting. How was he shot? Who shot him? And what was happening to precipitate this violence today? But again, we've got crews there on both scenes. We've got crews at the scene there of the shooting. We also have crews at Penn Presbyterian Hospital where this rookie officer was taken. Currently, he is stable again. Currently, he's alert, he's talking, and many officers are gathering there at the hospital to support him. Again, new to the job, new to the force, and he will see the strength of the Philadelphia Police Department in this scene, because this is what they do. We have Dan, who is on the scene there of the shooting. Let's see, I know he's been canvassing the area and he is getting more information. Dan, what can you tell us?
Well, Natasha, we did talk with some folks who were on scene when this all happened, and what we learned from them was that this started as some sort of pretty sizable fight that happened right outside Overbrook High School, right about the time of dismissal. There was a fight. Police may have gone in to break up that fight, and that's when that shot rang out. Unclear at this point who shot, but we do know, again, police sources have told us that a suspect is in custody. You can see Dr. Dr. Tony Watlington, Philadelphia's superintendent, is on scene talking with police right now. I did talk with officials from the school district. At this time, they are saying no Overbrook students were involved and no students were injured in this incident. But again, it appears they are gathering information from the police as well as we all look to gather information here. Natasha?
And so, Dan, just so I'm clear, so you said no Overbrook students were involved. Is that right? That's what you're hearing?
That is what we were told from school district officials, that no students were involved and no students were injured. So it's unclear how this fight got started or who was involved in this fight. But from the video we were shown, this was a pretty large fight that happened right around the time of dismissal here at Overbrook High School. And then in that video, you can hear that shot ring out. Again, unclear who fired. We do know, of course, now at this point that one officer was shot and one person is in custody at this time. But again, school district officials have told me here on scene, no students involved, no students injured in this incident. Natasha?
All right, well, that's at least good news. So, Dan, tell us again, you're seeing video. Did someone, a witness or a bystander, did they show you video of this sizable fight that led to the shooting?
Yeah, they showed us this video. This video was taken on an iPad. It was someone who came to meet some friends who were dismissing from Overbrook High School for the day. When they saw that fight, you know, the iPad came out and on went the video. And then, of course, leading up to this officer being shot. But yeah, right around this area, just outside of Overbrook High School on 59th Street in Overbrook. We're right at the corner of 59th and Turner, and you can still see this large police presence, police leaders meeting with school district officials as they try to assess this situation and what happened.
And also, Dan, if you can just paint the picture for us as to what is around that area. We see the school there. We're looking at it from our perspective here, our vantage point on the left. But what's across the street? We're looking at that looks like it's a part of the crime scene as well. Is there a bodega there? Is there some store? What is that area across the street?
Yeah, it looks like there is a small Chinese takeout place over here. There is a corner, you know, ice cream, water ice store that's right across from the high school as well. And then you get into a very residential area, lots of row homes just across the street here from Overbrook High School. But you know, this area, of course, kids dismissed. They may come over, get ice cream, get water ice. But yeah, very, very residential for the most part, with a few businesses scattered throughout to where this crime scene is.
Yeah, well, we see that Dr. Watlington is still there on the scene, Dan, so hopefully you can kind of grab him and chat with him a little bit more about, you know, what may have transpired here. But the good news, again, according to you and your sources there, no Overbrook students involved, no students injured. That's according to school officials, right?
That is correct.
Okay. Dan, well, we're going to let you get more information, and we know that we have Alicia Roberts, who's heading to Penn Presbyterian Hospital, the other scene here that's playing out with the officer who is currently stable and alert there at the hospital. So we're hoping to get her as well soon. So we'll let you continue to gather information there. Thank you. Again, we are continuing to follow breaking news at this hour. An officer shot outside of Overbrook High School around dismissal time this afternoon. That was about 2:30 or so. This was a male officer, a rookie who was just a few months on the job. He was shot in the abdomen area. He's currently in stable condition. He's alert and talking to police officers who have gathered there at the hospital to support him. We know that a suspect is in custody. A gun was also recovered, and we also now are hearing that this all may have been precipitated by a huge fight outside of the high school, a sizable fight, and there is video of this fight, according to Dan. He's seen the video from bystanders who were recording it. Police may have tried to break this fight up, and you hear a shot being fired or shots fired, and the officer obviously was hit in one of those shots that were fired. So no Overbrook students involved, according to school officials. No students injured either. The officer here, the only one injured, and he again was shot in the stomach. He's currently stable. He's alert and talking, and we are awaiting word now from the police commissioner. Also from Tony Watlington, the superintendent of Philadelphia School District, possibly hearing from both of them. We can only imagine very, very shortly just about what transpired here this afternoon. So we've got crews there. Dan's there on the scene of the shooting. Alicia Roberts is heading to the hospital. She should be there shortly. And that is where we're expecting likely to hear from the police commissioner, because again, that is usually the first place he goes. He goes to be with his officer. He goes to be with the officer involved in a situation like this. So thankfully, this officer is stable and he's talking to police about what happened. So they will have from his own mouth, his own words, exactly what happened and what may have transpired here this afternoon outside of Overbrook High School. Again, around dismissal time, around 2:30 or so this afternoon, is when this officer was shot. A hearing again about this large fight that happened around dismissal time outside of the school, across the street or so. But again, no Overbrook students involved, no students injured. This rookie officer, though, certainly injured and shot in the abdomen, but he's currently stable, so we're very happy to hear that. So we're going to be continuing to follow this breaking news for you. This is an active investigation still playing out there at that scene there along 59th Street in West Philadelphia, Overbrook High School. So that we're still seeing the officers gathering there. They're gathering evidence and information, possibly talking to witnesses. Again, we can only imagine there are a number of witnesses. Apparently this was a huge fight that was taking place outside of the high school, and people were filming it. So we can only imagine that's going to be a big part of the investigation as well, and evidence that is most needed to help to figure out exactly what happened here. But the suspect is in custody. A gun's been recovered. We don't know who the suspect is, but according to school officials, no Overbrook students involved, no students injured. So we are happy to hear that as well, that the students are safe as well. But we're continuing to follow this here at 3:56. We're coming up on 4 o'clock now. This happened about 2:30 or so. And we can only imagine also this is going to be an investigation that plays out for some time there on that scene in West Philadelphia outside of Overbrook High School. So just to recap again here, this is about going on about an hour and a half or so since this all happened outside of Overbrook High School. A rookie officer shot in the abdomen, only on the job about 3 months or so, shot outside of that high school, Overbrook High School, a large high school there in West Philadelphia. Around dismissal time, around 2:30 or so, this officer was taken to Penn Presbyterian Hospital, shot in the abdomen. We know that he's stable, he's alert and talking and giving police the information that we can only imagine they need to try to figure out what precipitated him being shot. So this is, again, a rookie officer, just a few months on the job. A fight apparently was taking place outside of the high school around dismissal time, a sizable fight. Witnesses capturing it, we're understanding, on their iPhone. According to Dan, who's been talking to folks out there, he says that you hear a shot or shots fired, and the next thing you know, this is an officer who was shot in the stomach and the abdomen area. No Overbrook students involved, no students injured, but again, what precipitated this is still very much a question at this hour. So we've got crews at both scenes here, both scenes, dual scenes playing out. The one there where this all happened in West Philadelphia, outside of Overbrook High School, a large police presence there. When an officer is shot, that's what happens. Police officers come from all around the city to converge on that scene. So a large police presence there at that scene. Also the scene that's playing out at Penn Presbyterian Hospital, where officers are gathering to hold vigil to support the officer, the rookie officer who was shot and is currently being treated there in the emergency room at Penn Presbyterian Hospital. So we are going to continue to follow this. You see Dan Snyder there. He's on the scene. He's been canvassing that scene, talking to folks. Again, there has to be many witnesses, people actually filming the fight that may have precipitated this violence today there outside of Overbrook High School. So no shortage of witnesses. We're certain the good news here, the officer is stable, the officer is alert, and a suspect is in custody.
We are following breaking news here on CBS Philadelphia while we are streaming. Chaos outside of Overbrook High School.
It ends with a Philadelphia police officer shot. This is new video given to us by a witness showing the mayhem that began just as students were dismissed for the day. Good Wednesday afternoon, and thank you for joining us. I'm Siafa Lewis.
And I'm Yuki Washington, in for Natasha Brown, who just took you through on stream the entire situation. The officer, we're told, is awake and alert. The shooting happened just before 3 o'clock this afternoon.
Let's get right over to Dan Snyder, who is live at the scene in Overbrook with the very latest. Good afternoon, Dan.
Siafa, Yuki, good afternoon. We are right here on the corner of 59th and Turner, just down the street from 59th and Columbia and outside Overbrook High School. I'm going to step out of the way so you can take a look at what is still a very, very active scene. Again, just outside of the high school. This is where police are telling us one officer was shot this afternoon just around dismissal time. Now, to give you a scope of the size of this scene that police have blocked off, Chopper 3 was over top of that scene right now. You can see a large area blocked off, some businesses along this corridor, very heavy residential area, but again, just outside of the high school, and this all happening right around dismissal time. Now, what we have learned from police sources, that one officer was shot, and this stems from, we'll bring in this video that we grabbed for you on scene from a bystander who was there when this all went down, a large fight that broke out right around dismissal time here at Overbrook. We are told one officer was shot, one person is in custody. That officer, according to police sources, has only been on the job for a few months at this time. That officer is awake, is speaking, according to those police sources, but the catalyst of this appears to be this large fight that broke out outside Overbrook High School right around dismissal time. Now, I did speak with a representative from the Philadelphia School District. They told us no students were injured in this incident here. They also told us no Overbrook students were involved in this incident. But back out here live on scene, you can see still a very heavy police presence here on 59th Street, just down the street from Columbia. They have about 2 blocks blocked off as they continue to investigate this scene. I did see Dr. Tony Watlington on scene. We are hoping to get an update from the school district, from police, and bring you as much information as quickly as we're getting it. For now, Siafa and Yuki, we'll send it back to you in the studio.
Okay, Dan, thank you so much. And Dan, before you go, I was looking at the video and I was looking also at the crime scene tape outside of the store. Is that where the fight took place? And the reason I asked that, over the years, I'm in that area quite a bit, going to and from West Philadelphia. And over the years, students have been gathering there for maybe a snack, something to eat, either before classes start in the morning and after classes end in the afternoon. Do you know if that fight took place right in front of that store?
Yes, Yuki, there is a Chinese takeout place just across the street from Overbrook High School. That is within the area that's taped off. It doesn't appear that store is open. The shutters are down. The open sign is off. Outside of the tape, there is a small corner store, water ice cream, pretzels, things like that. A lot of people have gathered here. So I believe the fight may have taken place down from the water ice and ice cream store and more into where the area has been taped off. But to get an exact location, we'll try and find that out for you, Yuki, as we learn more from police.
Yeah, I was just curious because I know that area very well. Dan, we'll get back to you.
Dan, I have a question for you as well. Possibly, maybe you can answer this. They say no students were involved. Who was involved in the fight? They were not students, or students were involved in the fight but not in the shooting of the officer?
Yes, Siafa, again, that's a question we have as well. You know, as you look at that video, very, very large fight scene. Again, school district officials are telling us no students involved in this incident. So we will have to get that update from school officials, from police officials, as we get more information. But that was the initial information that I was given here on scene.
Yeah, obviously a very fluid situation. Dan, thank you so much for your reporting. All right, we have new video in now from Penn Presbyterian Medical Center where that injured officer was rushed following this afternoon's shooting.
Yeah, you can see right there dozens of officers and city officials gathered outside, and so is CBS News Philadelphia, Alicia Roberts. She's there right now. Alicia, what have you learned?
Yuki Siafa, good afternoon to you. You know, as a lot of questions still remain to be answered, what's happening here right now is the support we see when an officer is injured in the line of duty. And that is what we are certainly seeing outside of Penn Presbyterian Hospital right now. We've got a large police presence gathered outside of the emergency room. Penn Presbyterian, a level 1 trauma center. Officers gathered immediately after word that that officer had been shot in the abdomen. Once again, we know that rookie officer is stable. He is alert and talking, so that is the good news right now. Typically, when an officer is transported to a hospital, we are also expecting to hear from the police commissioner. We have yet to see Commissioner Kevin Bethel here at the hospital, but again, protocol would be that we would expect to hear from him outside of the hospital here, and certainly that's something we are keeping our eye on. We're also waiting to see potentially family of that officer. Kind of a lot of this happening right now, and certainly for anyone that has family on the front lines, anyone who has family who are police officers who serve the community, this is that worst phone call that you hope you never receive. And so you can imagine what's happening behind the scenes right now for everyone in this law enforcement community, for the family of the officer that was shot this afternoon. Again, right now the mood here is solemn. Everyone, at least for now, breathing a sigh of relief to learn that that officer is in stable condition. Or again, we are waiting to hear from Police Commissioner Kevin Bethel and potentially family of that officer right now. But the good news right now is this community gathers to support one of their own, as they do. Brothers and sisters that serve, everyone comes together in a time like this. Right now, everybody just thinking of that officer that's been injured right now and hoping that he is okay this afternoon. And again, we will keep you posted on what we can learn here from the ground at Penn Presbyterian Hospital. Siafa, Yuki, will send it back to you.
Yeah, brothers and sisters in arms, and once again, that officer is stable, alert, and talking. The investigation, of course, continues. Alicia, we'll get back to you. Thank you so much. Our chopper is staying on the scene as this breaking news continues to unfold. It is a very fluid situation, and we are expecting to hear more from the police commissioner, and many other officials. Will continue our live coverage as new information comes in.
In other news, a panicked mother in Northeast Philadelphia screaming at a car thief, desperately trying to stop him as he speeds away with her daughter still in the car. That woman was delivering packages. She returned to find a man stealing that car with, as I just mentioned, her young child in the back seat. Chief investigative reporter Joe Holden is live where it all went down. Joe.
Siafa, some heart-wrenching moments. You don't have to be a parent to empathize with what we saw happen right where I'm standing. First off, this woman is delivering packages for Amazon. She's actually over on Oakland, delivering to one of the homes over here. Her car is sitting right where I'm standing. She sees a man getting into that car, and then her child inside the car. The man starts ramming the back of this Honda Accord in his attempt to get away, and he did. This is a parent's worst nightmare. Video obtained by CBS News Philadelphia shows the heart-stopping moments a man gets into this SUV. The car owner now running and screaming at him. Her 2-year-old daughter is still in the back seat. The woman was delivering packages for Amazon near the intersection of Unruh and Oakland in Northeast Philadelphia Wednesday morning. The thief ramming the SUV into a parked car, trying to get away. Neighbors were shocked at what we showed them.
That's why we have to be so important and be aware of everything that's going on, because you never know. It's horrible.
But the thief's escape didn't take him far. Chopper 3 overhead as officers surrounded the SUV in a nearby parking lot at McGee and Castor. We watched as the 2-year-old was reunited with her father, who he said ran to the scene. He told us his wife still had the SUV's key fob in her pocket, which investigators say most likely prevented the car from leaving the area. People were relieved to hear the toddler was okay.
I just come out and they told me to find the baby, but thank God, you know.
You're relieved?
Yes. So thank God, man.
Meanwhile, detectives checked the SUV for fingerprints, hoping to identify the perpetrator. Parents we spoke with say something like this shatters their trust.
Because my whole family lives here. My whole family, and we do that stuff all the time. We'll come out, turn our car on, and go back in the house real quick. You know what I'm saying? So to see that is very, very scary. And like I said, that type of stuff doesn't happen around here.
Now, we did speak to the father of that 2-year-old little girl. She was checked out by medics and is doing absolutely fine tonight. For that, he says he is grateful. he didn't want to speak on camera. Police continue to look for the man who stole the car and took off for, well, it was a brief ride, but for these parents, it was quite the episode. We'll keep you posted as police search for him. We're live in Northeast Philadelphia. Joe Holden, CBS News, Philadelphia.
Yeah, Joe, please do. Thank you. Police are also working to identify the person responsible for purposely starting a fire that killed the person inside their West Philadelphia home in November. The arson was recorded on surveillance video around 4 a.m. on the 1400 block of North 61st Street. The suspect can be seen setting fire to a front porch, which later led to the death of a 67-year-old who was bedridden. The city of Philadelphia is offering a reward of $20,000 for information leading to an arrest and conviction. In Washington Township, police and prosecutors continue to investigate the shooting death of a 10-year-old boy. Police say he died of what appears to be an accidental gunshot wound to the head yesterday inside a home on Westminster Boulevard. Investigators gave few details, and they say out of respect they did for the family's privacy.
The Papal conclave is now underway at the Vatican. About an hour ago, black smoke could be seen pouring from the chimney at the Sistine Chapel, signaling that after one vote, a new pope has not yet been elected. 133 cardinals walked to the Sistine Chapel this morning to begin the secretive, centuries-old ritual to choose a new leader of the Catholic Church. CBS News correspondent Bradley Blackburn has more from the Vatican.
With Michelangelo's frescoes watching from above, the Sistine Chapel sits ready to host 133 cardinals from 70 countries as they elect a new pope. In one of the final traditions ahead of the conclave, Pope Francis's fisherman's ring and his official seal were destroyed.
Wait and see.
Many cardinals remain tight-lipped just one day before they begin voting.
We won't have a new Francis. Yeah, Francis is Francis.
To be a pope, it has so many different kind of job requirements, right?
CBS News Papal contributor Delia Gallagher says the first vote will establish who the real contenders are.
What would surprise you here?
An African pope. It would surprise and please me. My sense is that we'll be going back to probably an Italian pope, or at least a pope who's had a lot of experience.
Many of the rules of this conclave were set back in the 13th century after an election that lasted almost 3 years. While there's still no deadline, more recent conclaves have lasted only 2 days. And as for the white or black smoke that signals a decision, that's a relatively modern tradition dating back just more than 100 years.
And when it starts coming out, the problem is it's a little bit gray. And so you don't really know until a little bit further on. And then, of course, if it's white, the bells will start to ring. And then you know they've elected a pope.
Cameras from around the globe are already focused on that chimney, waiting for the conclave to begin. And the old-fashioned signal of a new chapter for the Catholic Church. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, the Vatican.
Stay with CBS News Philadelphia for continuing coverage throughout the Papal conclave.
Well, signs like these are greeting travelers at airports across the country now that the Real ID requirements are in effect. Now, if you want to have a smooth travel day, you'll definitely want to have a Real ID. But if you don't have one yet, you'll still be able to fly. Ray Strickland explains now how the process is working so far. He's live for us at Philly International. Ray?
Hey, how you doing, Yuki? Some of the people who are here at the airport told us that they didn't even realize that they could still fly without having that Real ID, which led to some very frantic hours with them scrambling at the DMV to get one not long before their flights. TSA checking for Real IDs as travelers move their way through the security checkpoint at Philadelphia International Airport.
I do a lot of travel.
Mark Rehack says he made sure to get his as soon as possible.
Just to avoid the hassle, we started seeing the signs a couple years ago about the Real ID, and I wanted to make sure I got it just to avoid it.
Brett Hampton says he got his in just the nick of time, a day before his flight. He says the DMVs were packed.
I sat in line for an hour and a half and got my Real ID. Then they told me, oh, you got this paper that you have to get. and they said it would take 6 weeks to get it, so I just have my passport with me.
It's just an added layer of security.
Gerardo Sparrow with TSA says travelers can still fly without their real ID, but those without it will have to go through some additional screening. If you don't have a real ID, just remember you can also use a passport, global entry card, or permanent resident card.
I'm actually very proud of our travelers. It seems like they heard the message and they came prepared.
Shanique Mitchell and her sister don't have a real ID and were worried they weren't going to be able to fly to Florida for a family member's graduation. The two are now breathing a sigh of relief that for now they can fly without it.
I'm just so happy with it.
And fortunately, there's been no major delays here at PHL because of the real IDs, but airport officials are still encouraging travelers to get here early, just in case there are. Live at PHL, Ray Strickland, CBS News, Philadelphia.
Ray, thank you so much.
Well, we have multiple crews working to learn more about the specifics and the many unanswered questions in this afternoon shooting of a Philadelphia police officer outside Overbrook High School.
Our chopper is live over the scene right now. Dan Snyder is on the ground gathering information. So is our Alicia Roberts. She is at the hospital where the officer was taken. We're told the officer is awake and speaking. A suspect is in custody and a weapon was recovered. We're waiting for a news conference right now to just sort everything out that happened this afternoon. Our coverage will continue when we come back.
Heart, hustle, home. CBS News Philadelphia. We know this community by heart. CBS News Philadelphia.
Now you can get your CBS Philadelphia news, weather, and live stream all in one place on the CBS News app. Download it free today.
Coming to you from the innovative, immersive Hyundai Virtual Next Weather Sphere. This is Next Weather.
Well, a very nice day in and around the city today. 24 hours ago, however, Grant Gilmore.
With that tornado.
That's right. We're talking about lots of storm activity in
for sure.
County. Meteorologist Grant Gilmore is on the Hyundai Next Weather Sphere with the forecast and with more about that tornado yesterday.
Hey, G.
Hey guys, yeah, actually yesterday we got video of a funnel cloud in the area. We were on the air talking about this tornado and the potential of this tornado actually coming down to the ground. We got video of that damage today. This is some drone video from Bangor, and you see the trees down, caused some damage to some decks there, some tiles being thrown off with some homes and some other structures up there. And the National Weather Service, they sent a crew up there today to survey the damage, and based upon the damage and what they saw and to the extent of that damage, they were able to confirm that this tornado was in fact an EF1 tornado. Let me show you exactly where this was. So this is well up to the north into northern Northampton County, and that's where we had the rotation in the atmosphere. We certainly had the damaging winds and of course the damage to go along with it. So this thing dropped just south of Bangor. It traveled to the north. It took a little jog to the north and east, and then it lifted after being on the ground for about 1.5 miles, or at least that's estimated based upon the damage here. So this happened yesterday afternoon. They estimated the wind speeds were around 80 to 90 miles per hour, which makes it that EF1 tornado. Again, it was on the ground for about 1.5 miles, and its maximum width was about 100 yards. Pretty big, right? You think about a football field. That's how wide this tornado was when it was at its, I guess you could say, its strongest. So it touched down right around 3:47 yesterday afternoon, and it stayed on the ground, causing some tree damage. There was actually some tile from a roof that was found 1/4 mile away from where the damage was. That just tells you that tornado was picking things up and it was throwing it up into the atmosphere, launching it a good 1/4 mile away, and then the tornado lifted right around 3:50 yesterday afternoon. So that was yesterday. A very different day today. Gorgeous conditions out there. Well, we've got partly to mostly sunny conditions through the area today. Temperatures have been able to warm nicely into the middle and some upper 70s this afternoon. Overall, we're going to keep those great conditions as we go through the rest of the afternoon. It looks like we're having some issues bringing in our temperatures, but if you've had the windows open or you've stepped outside, you don't need me to tell you. It's really nice out there today. And it's going to stay that way as we go into the overnight with those partly cloudy conditions. Satellite and radar loop over the last few hours showing you just a couple of scattered clouds here or there. No rain to speak of here locally. The storm system that brought us the tornado and other severe weather yesterday, that's clearing up to the north and east. Meanwhile, we've got another low pressure system back over the southern plains. That's bringing heavy rainfall and the threat for flooding across the Gulf states. That will start to lift to the north and east, and that's where we'll get into another round of rain as we get into the second half of the day tomorrow. But the rest of your Wednesday night, you're A-OK. You're in good shape under partly cloudy skies. We'll start you off tomorrow morning with mostly clear conditions, so a nice start to your Thursday. But as you get the kids ready for school tomorrow, just know they may need to have the raincoat or the umbrella. You may need it too with those showers popping up into tomorrow afternoon through tomorrow evening. I think we see a heavier round with more widespread rain going overnight Thursday into Friday morning, and I think we continue with those on and off showers as we go through the day on Friday. Some pockets of some heavier rain as we get into Friday afternoon, and with that on and off rain chance, we'll have to watch out for the potential for some flooding and maybe some stronger gusty winds. Finally, it looks like we'll start to clear that low pressure system up to the north and east. Maybe a trailing shower early Saturday morning, but I think gradually through Saturday afternoon, we'll start to get the rain out of here. So the best chance of rain is going to be into Friday, with a small chance of some early morning lingering showers on Saturday, but the rest of your Mother's Day weekend does look to be pretty good. By the way, Lung Force Walk is Saturday morning at the Philadelphia Zoo. Great weather for that. Temperatures will be in the mid-70s Saturday afternoon. Then, of course, Mother's Day. We've had our eyes on this for a while, right? Plenty of sunshine out there on Sunday with temperatures right around 80 degrees under partly cloudy skies. We're at 58 degrees tonight. It's comfortable, partly cloudy. It's a nice night with those overnight lows in the upper 50s to right around 60 degrees. Again, we'll start tomorrow morning with sunshine, but as we get into the afternoon, we'll start to see some instability develop, a little more moisture begins to move in, and that's where we could see a couple of those isolated showers or thunderstorms. Right now, it looks more likely north and west of Philadelphia, sort of in the same areas that saw the heavier rain yesterday. But I do think we see more widespread rain as we get into Thursday night. And then into Friday with those widespread showers, some pockets of heavy rain. We do have the next weather alert up for Friday. Not a huge severe weather threat. In fact, I do think it's mainly rain. We're not expecting a lot of thunderstorms or just not a lot of instability. But with the heavy rainfall, it's Friday. You've probably got some plans to do something or maybe plans to do nothing. Either way, we're going to have to watch out for that heavier rainfall. Not to mention the cooler temperatures Friday afternoon. Temperatures only in the middle 60s. And then Saturday, Sunday look really nice. In fact, the great weather continues into Monday before we get back into an unsettled pattern next week. Tuesday and Wednesday, we're back into those rain chances with temperatures in the upper 70s. All right, guys, back into you.
All right, buddy.
Thank you very much, Grant. Unfortunately, a very busy afternoon. We have crews working to learn more about this afternoon shooting of a Philadelphia police officer outside of Overbrook High School.
Our chopper is live over the scene. This all started to take shape about 2 hours ago. There was a large fight. Students were involved, and somehow an officer was shot in the stomach area. Details are still being gathered. Dan Snyder is on the ground. He's looking into that angle for us. And Alicia Roberts is at the hospital where the officer was taken. We're told that officer is awake and speaking. We're told a suspect is in custody and a weapon was recovered. We're waiting for a news conference to find out how it all is connected. Our coverage will continue when we come back.
Heart, hustle, home. CBS News Philadelphia. We know this community by heart. CBS News Philadelphia.
Now you can get your CBS Philadelphia news, weather, and live stream all in one place on the CBS News app. Download it free today.
From CBS News Philadelphia's virtual studios, this is the Toyota Sports Report.
It feels like football in South Philadelphia.
Well, as we've been telling you for the last week or so, the PGA Tour is in Philly.
Yes, indeed. The Tour's Championship Pro-Am is underway at the Philadelphia Cricket Club's Wissahickon Golf Course in Flourtown, Montgomery County.
Sports Director Don Bell joins us now with more. DB.
Yeah, good afternoon, fellas. 2018, that's the last time the PGA Tour made a stop here in Philadelphia. This week, the best golfers in the world are in town to tackle the Wissahickon course, which was originally designed in 1922. But today, some of the amateurs took a swing at it as well. Pat Gallen has more.
Philly is the center of the golf universe as the Philadelphia Cricket Club hosts the Truist Championship this week. Masters champion Rory McIlroy won this event last year, and he spoke highly of the region and its courses.
Philadelphia is one of the best places in the U.S. for golf. You know, there's so many great courses around here. We've got, you know, we're playing the PGA at Aronimink next year. We're playing the U.S. Open in 30 at Marion. You know, there's a lot of great golf in this area.
Xander Schauffele, the third-ranked player in the world, also spoke highly of it.
Billy's got some good fans, and you know, they're into a lot of other sports, and you know, I've heard there's a pretty good number of people coming out for this week. Hopefully the weather stays away and it's like today. That'd be awesome.
While the best in the world will be closely followed this weekend, all eyes were on Eagles legend Jason Kelce, who took part in the Truist Pro-Am today with 12th ranked golfer Shane Lowry.
It was incredible. It was not only watching him play, but he's just got one of those personalities. It's fun to be around. Like, it's good times.
Another Lowry is in the house. Sixers guard and Philly native Kyle Lowry, who's playing in the Pro-Am in his own backyard.
Kyle, what are you going to shoot today? It's a shambles, so whatever Kyle shoots, that's what I shot today. I know it's a scramble, but I'm just going to take his score and make it my score. So, I don't know, I'm just out here to have a good time and, you know, represent the city of Philadelphia very well.
But this weekend is all about the fans, like the Sykes brothers from York, PA.
When we went under the rope, it felt cool that we were going to get a signature from one of the best players.
How would they describe their day?
Happy and surprised. Amazed.
Pat Gallen, CBS Sports, Philadelphia.
All right, Pat, thank you. The Truist Championship officially tees off tomorrow. However, the start of rounds 1 and 2 have been pushed back to 11:09 because of the anticipation of inclement weather. In fact, you take a look at the flags back there. Grant, come on in. You see the wind back there, right? You see the flags are moving, guys. So I don't know.
Rain's in the forecast for tomorrow, mainly tomorrow afternoon. So we'll see. When you've got a windy flag on the green, you know there's something up.
You know something's up.
Yeah.
But guys like, say, I don't know, Yuki tend to play in the rain anyway. The wind doesn't bother them.
No bother.
No bother whatsoever.
That's right.
No bother. That must be is that an uphill putt there? Because you got some wind. You better hit it hard.
It is. Take a walk. Hold on. Wait a minute. I got
read the lie.
But I'm not left-handed. But I don't want to turn my junk to the camera. So I'll stay facing this way.
We'll get back. We're
having way too much fun.
I love what you've done with the studio, though. Very nice.
These greens look really good. They're in great shape. Great shape.
Yeah, I know.
Maybe we'll play once we let those guys.
We got to find our club somewhere.
They're having their own conversation.
I know. Yeah, we better just move on because we got some stuff to tell you about.
That's right. We do have crews actively working to learn exactly what transpired this afternoon that led to the shooting of a Philadelphia police officer outside of Overbrook High School.
Let's take a look from our chopper over the scene. Dan Snyder is on the ground once again gathering information. The officer was taken to Penn Presbyterian. Alicia Roberts is at the hospital. We're told, though, the good news, the officer is awake and speaking. He's a rookie officer, just on the job a few months. A suspect, we're told, is in custody and a weapon was recovered. This is the scene outside of Overbrook High School. That green awning there is a store where many students have been gathering over the years, either before class or after the class. We're going to get more information from a news conference coming up, hopefully within the half hour. We're not sure, but we will be standing by, and our coverage will continue when we come back.
Heart, hustle, home. CBS News Philadelphia. We know this community by heart. CBS News Philadelphia.
Now you can get your CBS Philadelphia news, weather, and live stream all in one place on the CBS News app. Download it free today.
Uncovering the heart behind the headlines.
Breaking right now at 4 on CBS News Philadelphia. There was chaos this afternoon outside Overbrook High School, resulting in a Philadelphia police officer being shot. As you can see in this video captured by someone at the scene, a large fight broke out just prior to that shooting. Good Wednesday afternoon, and thank you for joining us. I'm Siafa Lewis.
And I'm Yuki Washington. We've learned that the injured officer is awake and alert. The shooting happened just before 3 o'clock this afternoon. Dan Snyder is near Overbrook High right now. And Dan, a little time has passed since we last spoke. Please bring us up to date, especially if you have learned anything new. Good evening.
Yeah, Yuki, Siafa, good evening. And you can see that scene behind me right here at 59th and Oxford, just outside Overbrook High School. Very much parsed down a little bit. A lot fewer people out here. Still a pretty active scene as crews work to gather any evidence that may have been left behind. But in the last hour that we have been out here, things calmed down significantly. A little over a dozen officers remain on scene at this time just outside of Overbrook High School. Still no update from police, still no update from the school district, but what we've learned from police sources at this point is that we know one officer was shot here on scene, one person was taken into custody, and a weapon was recovered. That is a younger officer, only a few months on the job at this point. That officer is awake, is alert, and is at Presbyterian Hospital right now. But the catalyst of this, talking with people on scene, one person was here when this all broke out. They gave us this video, we'll bring that on screen for you, of what really set this all into motion. Right around the time of dismissal at Overbrook High School, this large fight breaks out and a gunshot goes off, that officer then being hit. Now, what we were told from school district officials, we did see Superintendent Tony Watlington on scene talking with police. What we were told from school district officials when we got on scene, that no students were involved or injured in this incident. Now, Siafa, to a question you asked us about a half hour ago, that word involved, that is something that we are still trying to gather from school district officials. What does involved mean? Involved in the fight, involved in the shooting? Again, that's information we're still waiting to learn from school district officials. We are hoping to get some sort of update from the school district, from police, on what really happened in this situation, but large block of 59th Street remains blocked off as police continue to investigate here. Yuki and Siafa.
Dan, thank you very, very much.
Okay, Dan, we appreciate it. We'll get back to you. Our chopper is, of course, staying on the scene as this breaking news continues to unfold, and we are expecting to hear more from the police. We understand the police commissioner is at the hospital right now, so we'll try to get something from him as well. Alicia Roberts is there, and we will continue our coverage as the information comes in. We follow up on a story that captured hearts and headlines last year when students at the University of the Arts were blindsided by news their school was shutting down.
CBS Philadelphia's Eve Anderson has the story of a young woman's journey from that painful day last year to graduation day.
Jillian Sander.
Jillian Sander just graduated from Temple University, but before she walked across the stage, she walked back to the campus where she first hoped to graduate.
I've just been more appalled as time goes by, because we still haven't gotten answers as to how this happened, why this happened.
Smile. This time last year, Sander was a rising senior at the University of the Arts studying 3D animation. She was among hundreds of students and faculty who got the abrupt news last May that the university was closing its doors. Save the UR! We first met Sander on the steps of Hamilton Hall at a rally hoping to keep the school alive.
We're here to advocate for ourselves and tell everyone that we're worth saving. I just want to graduate with the people I've worked with for 3 years.
That fight didn't prevail, but Sander pushed forward. She was one of 350 former and prospective UArts students who transferred to Temple.
I had a couple UArts students in my class. I had one class because I had 119 credits to my name when UArts closed. That's technically 1 credit away from graduating.
And on Tuesday, she joined thousands of owls walking at commencement. Many in Sander's situation donned caps with nods to their beloved former institution. The University of the Arts filed for bankruptcy last September, but to this day, former school leaders never clarified how finances unraveled so quickly or when they knew things were this dire. Students got just 7 days notice. But though this was not the outcome they expected, students say they're just happy to have found a new beginning. Sanders smiled with her new diploma in hand. Other former UArts students expressed relief.
I feel great. It's such a great community. We've become such a nice group and everything. I'm just ready to close this chapter and move on.
Even the UArts' old mascot made an appearance, proving that when plans change, creativity and community can carry you through the finish line. Eva Anderson, CBS News Philadelphia.
Still to come on CBS News Philadelphia, raising awareness in the fight to end lung disease.
A Delaware County man shares his story about why he is walking in this weekend's annual Lung Force Walk and how he hopes to inspire others.
Tomorrow morning, it is finally here, the Truist Championship. We're going to show you what it takes to get the course ready and everything you need to know before you head out the door. Join us tomorrow morning right here, starting at 4:30.
Heart, hustle, home. CBS News Philadelphia. We know this community by heart. CBS News Philadelphia.
Now you can get your CBS Philadelphia news, weather, and live stream all in one place on the CBS News app. Download it free today. Saturday morning, hundreds of people will be lacing up their sneakers for the Lung Force Walk taking place right here in Philly.
Including yours truly, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No doubt.
The annual event hosted by the American Lung Association in Pennsylvania celebrates and supports those living with lung disease and honors the memory of those who've lost their lives to lung cancer.
For one local man, he's walking to inspire others after his own unexpected journey. CBS Philadelphia's Nikki Dementri shares his story.
It's really become a special place for us.
Mark Shepard loves to be in nature.
It allows me to really contemplate and meditate on how lucky I am.
He's often found on local trails near his Wayne home with furry sidekicks Chase and Ruthie. But his journey to get here, well, it was anything but a walk in the park.
I was diagnosed in early 2017 with what's called idiopathic pulmonary fibrosis.
It's a rare, incurable illness that scars over the lungs. Dr. Albert Rizzo, who did not treat Shepard, explains further.
Really what this scarring does, it makes the lungs stiffer,
and very hard for oxygen to get in the bloodstream, which brings to those symptoms of the shortness of breath, the cough, inability to really do too much activity.
The diagnosis came as a shock to Shepard.
I would plateau for a while, and then my lung function would drop precipitously, and then I would plateau, then it would drop.
By 2019, the lawyer by trade was tethered to an oxygen machine. Then his lungs failed in October of 2020. Doctors intubated him after he said his goodbyes to his family.
I woke up 2 or 3 weeks later. My wife was sitting there, and I asked her, "Where'd you park? Let's get out of here." I didn't know that I had had a transplant.
And a bilateral lung transplant at that. It quite literally breathed air back into the dad of two's life. For starters, he could do this again.
I'm a good boy.
While also enjoying time with his growing family.
I'm going to be a grandfather in a couple of months. My daughter's expecting our first. And I keep getting reminded. She got married a year and a half ago. I got to walk her down the aisle, something I never thought I would do.
The soon-to-be Pop is forever grateful to his team at the University of Pennsylvania and, of course, the donor and his family.
I came out of it sort of with a renewed sense of purpose, and there was a reason why I was still here, and there was a reason why God spared me.
In the nearly 5 years since the transplant, Shepard has thrown himself into giving back, whether that be through pro bono legal work or through organizations like the American Lung Association. This year will mark his 4th Lung Force Walk.
Medicine is advancing in ways that are truly amazing, and that if you can stay alive long enough and do what your doctors say and try to stay as strong and healthy as you can, hopefully the medicine will catch up. And that's exactly what happened for me.
Nikki Demetri, CBS News, Philadelphia.
Medicine is advancing. Funds raised through the Lung Force Walk support lung cancer research and education. If you are interested in signing up for the walk, go to lungforce.org/CBS Philadelphia. It takes place this Saturday, May 10th at the Philadelphia Zoo, and you can still register now online.
Well, our breaking news coverage continues this afternoon. We have multiple crews working to learn more about this afternoon's shooting of a Philadelphia police officer outside Overbrook High School.
We're told the officer is awake and speaking. Now, a suspect is in custody and a weapon was recovered. Alicia Roberts is at Presbyterian Hospital. She tells us Mayor Parker has just joined the police commissioner there. No doubt once they check in with the injured officer, they will come out and let everyone know exactly what happened this afternoon. We're waiting for that news conference, and we'll air it live when it starts.
Heart, hustle, home. CBS News Philadelphia. know this community by heart. CBS News Philadelphia.
Now you can get your CBS Philadelphia news, weather, and live stream all in one place on the CBS News app. Download it free today. Here are your top 3 health headlines at 4. Child flu deaths in the U.S. are at their highest level in 15 years. The CDC reported 216 children have died during this flu season, the most since the 2009-2010 swine flu pandemic. Doctors say the biggest factor is that fewer children are getting flu shots.
A salmonella outbreak has sickened at least 7 people across 6 different states. The CDC says the outbreak is linked to backyard poultry and has spread to Missouri, Florida, Illinois, South Dakota, Utah, and Wisconsin.
And a study by the Kennedy Krieger Institute had caregivers talk with infants as they played, narrating what they were doing and giving them verbal support and engagement. Those babies developed better social skills and improved nonverbal learning.
Coming to you from the innovative, immersive Hyundai Virtual Next Weather Sphere. This is Next Weather.
Another B+ day, I'll give it.
Yes, indeed. B+.
Only a B+? Come on.
What do you think? Tough teacher? Is he grading on a curve?
I'm thinking it should be an A.
You didn't even ask me why.
No, okay, why? All right, you're right.
Too much cloud cover. I need more blue skies.
You want more blue skies?
You're one of those teachers that right on the top of the page. Come see me after class.
Yeah.
Come see me.
Siafa, have you ever been a professor?
No.
No?
Not in my future.
I could imagine you would be a tough professor.
Me?
Yes.
Yeah, a tough teacher. Yeah.
Yeah, the students at the beginning of the year, don't take Mr. Lewis's class. Don't get Mr. Lewis.
But at the end of the year, everyone would love you.
Absolutely.
No doubt about it. You're right, though. I mean, yeah, there was a little bit more cloud cover out there. I understand. I get how you're grading this. But look, compared to yesterday and compared to what we're going to get into over the next couple of days, I think maybe we can grade on the curve. And we're going to see that today actually is going to be a better day until we get into Saturday and Sunday. And then things probably are going to change back to what we're going to call an A day on Sunday. But let's talk about Friday. We issued a next weather alert for Friday for a couple of reasons. Not a huge severe weather threat. In fact, it's mainly rain that we're going to see. Periods of heavy rain in and out of the area as we go throughout the day on Friday, but also those cooler temperatures. 64 degrees Friday afternoon. We could see a couple of stronger storms with some gusty winds, but again, it's mainly rain for that next weather alert on Friday. Maybe a lingering shower into very early Saturday morning. We've got the lung force walk Saturday morning as well. I think we see increasing sunshine as we go through the midday hours. A couple of afternoon clouds, 75 degrees on Saturday. And you know what? Sunday, Mother's Day, always an A+ day in my book, right? Plenty of sunshine out there. Temperatures right around 80 degrees. Sunday looks pretty good. But let's talk specifically about this next weather alert on Friday because we are watching for heavy rainfall, maybe some areas of some flooding with that, some gusty winds as well. Well, I think we see a slow commute maybe on the front end of the day and potentially on the back end of the day as well. I'm not overly concerned with, like I said, the damaging winds, but still not out of the question. And it looks most likely across the Delaware Valley and then up into the Lehigh Valley. I think if you're closer to the shore, lesser of a concern for that severe weather. Again, that's Friday. It's Wednesday right now, and we're still enjoying nice conditions out there, though Siafa would hope for a little more sunshine. We got partly cloudy skies out over Center City right now. Temperatures in the mid-70s. I mean, 74 in Philadelphia. That's room temperature, right? What more could you ask for? Really comfortable conditions across the entire area. The humidity is lower today, mid-70s in most spots. Maybe a few of you down the shore still hanging out in the 60s. AC's at 66 degrees right now. But on the whole, it has been a very nice afternoon, and I guess at the end of the day, a B+ grade is not all that bad, is it? Let's check the satellite and radar here. We've got just a mix of sun and clouds here on the SatRad. Just maybe a few more clouds through the afternoon. The afternoon heat gave a little more instability to our relatively stable air mass. Couple of things I want to point out. Low pressure system moving through New England, another low pressure system back to the south and west. Those were our low pressure systems that contributed to our blocking pattern that really slowed down the progressive weather patterns across the country over the last couple of days. This is the water vapor satellite. You can clearly see that spin in the atmosphere, those two low pressure systems. This one's a pretty big one as it moves out of the southern plains, and it will tap into the Gulf moisture and the Atlantic moisture, and it will bring a lot more of that I guess we could call it tropical moisture into our air as we go through Thursday afternoon, but more so into Friday. And that's why we're going to see that possibility for heavy rainfall. Tomorrow morning starts off great. Mostly sunny conditions, but we will start to see a few more of those showers pop as we go through tomorrow afternoon into tomorrow evening. I think they're relatively scattered in nature, but notice Thursday night, more widespread rain, maybe a rumble of thunder. The area of low pressure moving in from the south, that will bring in more of that moisture in the atmosphere, so the precipitation rates are likely going to be heavier. We could see several rounds of some heavier rainfall. Not a significant flooding threat, but still, we could pick up 1 to 2 inches of rain with this system before it finally starts to clear out as we go into Saturday morning. Here's the latest run of our forecast model showing you where that rainfall might be the most. Again, Delaware Valley points to the north and west, down to the shore, probably not as much rainfall, but I think we should plan on at least 1 to 2 inches of rain. Some places could see a little more than that. So we'll watch for that potential of flooding. Not a major concern at this point, but I think just the fact that it's coming on a Friday, we're hoping just to get through the week, to get into the weekend. We got to get through Friday first before we can enjoy the nicer weather with those decreased rain chances and increasing sunshine as we go into Saturday and Sunday. Again, Mother's Day looks really nice. High temperatures around 80. Low temperatures Sunday morning. You're going to be making breakfast in bed for mom, right? 53 degrees. We'll see partly cloudy skies pretty much all day long. Partly cloudy skies tonight too. Temperatures right around 58 degrees. A comfortable night. A nice northwesterly wind around 5 miles per hour. We're back up to 80 tomorrow, so it's another warm day before those showers begin to arrive as we go through the second half of the day into tomorrow afternoon. All right, let's talk about the 7-day forecast here, because overall we are looking at a nice pattern through the weekend until we get into more rain next week. Here's the 7-day. Again, remember, next weather alert on Friday. Good looking day on Saturday after the potential for some early morning departing showers. 80 on Sunday. Looking good on Monday with more rain back in the mix as we go into next Tuesday and Wednesday. All right, guys, back into you.
My man, thank you, sir. We're paying tribute to hundreds of the fallen at Philadelphia's annual Living Flame Memorial Service.
City leaders, families, and colleagues honored more than 600 fallen police officers and firefighters who have died in the line of duty. The memorial service today was held at Franklin Square Park in Center City. Special wreaths and carnations were placed at the memorial on this day of remembrance.
The flame behind you, though not lit but understood, is a symbol. It is a promise. A flame is a promise that those who fell in the line of duty will never be forgotten, that their families will never grieve alone, and that their legacy will live on.
Names were added to the monument this year, joining those of other deceased fire and police colleagues who died also in the line of duty. Well, that'll do it for us on CBS News Philadelphia at 4. Our breaking news coverage continues in minutes over on CBS Philadelphia. We have crews working to learn exactly what transpired this afternoon in a shooting involving a Philadelphia police officer outside Overbrook High School.
Once again, we do have multiple crews working to learn more about this afternoon shooting of a Philadelphia police officer outside of Overbrook High School. Our chopper's live, and we'll be right back.